Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Vampire the Masquerade Redemption Blind. I'm here in Vienna trying to kill some Lasombra vampire. So let's continue. The path over here is blocked, so I presume I need to find some switches? Or wait. Wait. Oh no! Eric is dead! And I saved over this. I don't have...
I shall depart.
I don't have any scrolls of awakening. So, that makes me kinda screwed. Actually. And I need to load an earlier save, which is very annoying. But it has only been a couple of minutes, I think. Because this is the save I loaded just now, and the previous one is 3 minutes earlier, so hopefully he still lives over here. He does. Come on, don't kill him. She frenzied and is currently feeding from him. Hopefully he can survive that. Okay, let's save. So I will save over this, because this save is worthless to me, but with him being dead. Let's continue.
Deliver. Come hither and hear the sweet sound my sword sings. Come hither and hear the sweet sound my sword sings. I shall let thee flee with thy life intact.
Oh, some arrows.
Thee of thy curse. You.
The beast emerges from the darkest corners of my heart.
To the abyss with thee.
Okay.
Stand and deliver. Come hither and hear the sweet sound my sword sings. Come hither and hear the sweet sound my sword sings. Come hither and hear the sweet sound my sword sings. What? You...
Okay, drinking him dry is actually going to be pretty beneficial to me, because obviously it will regain my blood, where I don't really have that many options of doing that at this point. Okay. So, oh, there's another one here. First, I guess let me save. If he somehow killed me or one of my companions, then it would be pretty annoying.
I shall let thee flee with thy life intact. I shall let thee flee with thy life intact.
Okay, so I'm looking for some kind of a switch to open this. Oh, okay, there are buttons here. So I presume I need to switch them in a correct order or something? Oh well, I guess I got it by accident, which is nice. At least I don't have to spend time on that.
Come hither and hear the sweet sound my sword sings. I shall let thee flee with thy life intact.
Okay, this brings me to Stephenstone 3.
Shadows darker than night linger here, even within the depths of such an evil place. There is a heart of beauty.
Stand and deliver.
Well, to be honest, that doesn't surprise me.
Priest's orders.
Seeing how
Leaving thee in thy curse of way. To the abyss with thee.
the Lasombra can command shadows, because their discipline of obtenebration allows them to
the abyss with thee.
basically control shadows, and then they can even summon like shadowy monsters out of the shadow realm. So I presume that's something that's going to happen.
Beware. The shadows live.
Then the shadows can die.
Yeah, right, Dark Hunter.
To the abyss with thee. Come hither and hear the sweet sound of my soul.
Okay, I'm screwed because I only have one scroll of awakening, so it's not enough because 2 of them died. I have to reload. Did I save? I didn't, but there is an autosave. Hopefully it will still drop a scroll of awakening.
Come hither and hear the sweet to the abyss with thee.
Oh, come on, really? He really murdered him pretty hard.
Stand and deliver. Come hither and hear the sound of my soul.
Okay, let me save. Just in case I inevitably die in the very next room, which is probably something that's going to happen.
Beware.
Stand and deliver. Come hither and hear
The beast emerges from the darkest corners of my heart.
Come hither and hear the sweet sound of my soul.
Did we defeat it? I think we did. So let's give the bow to some of the others. There's some loot to be gathered here.
Stand and deliver. Come hither and hear the sweet sound of my soul. Come hither and hear the sweet sound. To the abyss. Come hither and hear the sweet sound my sword sings.
Okay, all of this just upgrades appearance, which I was talking about that in the previous episode. I realized, because for the longest time I was very confused about all of the magical items I found just raising appearance, but last time I realized they might not be magical at all. The game just assumes that if you wear nice jewelry, you're going to be better received. So it upgrades your appearance because it's simply nice looking jewelry, which I guess isn't that nonsensical. People would assume you're probably wealthy and influential if you have expensive jewelry on you.
The Lasombra obsess over portraiture, since they can no longer cast reflections into mirrors.
'Tis a mysterious quirk of Caine's blood.
Yeah, I've always liked that, because in Vampire the Masquerade, each clan of vampires has like a clan-specific flaw. And for the Lasombra, it is that they do not cast reflections, which is obviously one of the classic telltale signs of a vampire from some of the classic stories, but it doesn't apply to all vampires in the World of Darkness, just to the Lasombra. But obviously it's very difficult for them to hide from mortals, because first of all it's something that's very, quirky and weird if somebody doesn't cast a reflection. But second of all, it is such a well-known thing, specifically connected to vampires, that everyone who's going to notice that will assume that the person who does not cast a reflection is a vampire specifically. Okay, there are some plates here which might...
To the abyss with thee. To the abyss with thee.
Okay, those were some very resilient shadows, so let me save before I inevitably die and have to repeat all of that. So, those are some portraits of the Lasombra. I guess it's, again, it's a cool thing for them to be obsessed with having their portraits drawn, because obviously they can no longer see even their own reflection. So they would have to have a portrait drawn by somebody else to even be able to look upon their own face, which is very interesting when you really think about it. Okay, is there anything hidden in those portraits, maybe? Doesn't look like it, but there are a couple of mirrors. Well, all of my companions show in a mirror, so I guess at least none of them are a secret Lasombra or anything like that. What do those plates do? Ah, you mean like a piece of plate, like an armor. Okay, I'm definitely going to look into that.
To the abyss with thee.
Stand and deliver.
Okay. Damn it. Hopefully I don't kill him. Why are the rest not attacking him? Okay.
Stand and deliver.
What? You died.
Blood. I crave blood.
To the abyss with thee.
Okay. Can I go up? I can. This is locked. So I not only can go up, I must go up. Okay, let's do that, but first let's save.
Stand and deliver.
To the abyss with thee!
You die! Stand and deliver.
To the abyss with thee!
The beast emerges from the darkest corners of my heart.
Okay, there's a door which is locked. Oh, that's Luthor, the vampire.
Why would Luthor Black glorify the expulsion of Caine from the garden?
Perhaps it reminds him of his own exile from humanity.
Whom seek thee?
The Lasombra Luthor Black.
I am he. So, thou hast come to kill me.
Aye.
Come then. Kill me if thou can. I await the sacrament of thy blade, and the chains of Orsi the betrayer.
Then wait no longer.
Aye. 'Tis rude to keep a churchman waiting.
Hold. I do not seek thy death, Luthor. I only wish the return of those innocents taken by the Tremere.
I care not for thy wishes, whelp. Attempt thy deed or be gone.
Thou hast done nothing deserving of death.
Christoph, do not play with thy food. 'Tis unseemly.
Why dost thou seek death so ardently?
The cup which my father hath given me, shall I not drink it?
Blasphemer. The Lord hath not commanded thy death. Thou merely seek release from the bitterness of thy unlife.
For God's sake, Christoph, kill him. He wants to die.
I see that thou art like unto me, Christoph. Thou too seek holy refuge from bitter unlife.
Once I sought that selfish goal. Now I wish only to save she whom I have imperiled.
Then thou art truly the one for whom I have prayed. If thou would redeem me.
I shall not kill thee.
Please, I beg of thee. I cannot enter heaven if I turn my hand against myself. But thou hast it in thy power to deliver me. 'Twould be an act of holiness.
If I take up thy burden, thou wouldst remain blameless, and thy sin would be mine alone to bear. Thy elevation would be my damnation.
Nay.
Aye, 'tis so.
Aye, 'tis so. Wilt thou do this for me all the same? It is more than I may ask of thee, yet I ask it still. Wilt thou take my sins upon thee?
Okay, but I don't understand a couple of things here. First of all, I think even from a theological perspective, this is kind of shaky, because I understand him not wanting to kill himself, because obviously suicide is a sin, but I think his proposed loophole is not likely to deceive God himself. Like, he commands me to kill him. So technically speaking, I would say, if I were God, or even if I were like a philosopher, which I count myself among, I would say he's still technically committing suicide. It's something akin to like an assisted suicide or something, because it's not like I kill him on my own accord. I kill him because he specifically wants me to do it, and he wants to die. And I presume if God is real and really, omnipotent and omniscient, then he would know that. So that's unlikely to work, in my opinion. But apart from a theological perspective, I think I will oblige him. I think I'm very much in favor of euthanasia and in favor of people choosing their own death, should they want to, for some reason. And, you could see vampirism as being kind of a tragic disease of some sort, because it robs you of the ability, it could very well rob you of the ability to enjoy your life, disregarding the fact you're not even technically alive anymore, but you know what I mean. You cannot, for example, eat food. You cannot, well, I guess you can have sex, but you don't really enjoy this, and overall spending time with humans is probably difficult to you because you have an urge to consume them. So overall, you're addicted to blood, and there are a number of you can never see the sun again, for example. So there are a number of drawbacks to being a vampire, and I can understand how some people would prefer to die than lead an existence like this. So I very much empathize with his wish to die, and I will oblige him. Although, coming back to the theological perspective for a bit, I think it's interesting that if we assume this workaround actually works, which I don't think it does, but if we assume it does, then I am basically committing a sin of murder to sort of save him from the sin of suicide. So it's interesting. I wonder, I'm not a theologian myself, and I'm not even religious at this point, but I wonder what Christian theology would have to say about that. Like, would that be counted as a sacrifice if you endangered your own soul to save somebody else's soul? I would think I doubt it, because after all, you're still sinning, you're still turning away from God yourself. So I see it along the lines of, I would think, I assume that Christian theology would never agree that that the end justifies the means. So, for example, I don't think it would be seen as justifiable if you said that you wanted to spare him damnation and in turn chose your own damnation, because that is still a sin against God, and that is still a sign of disobedience against God. And in the end, I guess, even if it somehow saved his soul, it would doom my own soul, so it would be, a clean slate basically, because it would cancel each other out. So I don't think this works, but I am going to do it. However, I don't understand one thing. He wants to die, but then he said something about the chains, and indeed Count Orsi gave me a set of chains to bind him with, but I don't understand. Is he willing to be executed by Count Orsi? I assumed from the conversation he wants me to literally kill him right here and now on the spot, but I don't quite get this, but I will do what he asks.
Very well then. We shall bind thee.
Bind me with Orsi's chain, that I cannot escape the sun in my friends.
Okay, I get it now. So he wants me to burn him alive, basically, when the sun comes out. Interesting. Does he... okay, that's a cool detail. He indeed does not show in the mirror because he's a Lasombra. That's cool. I appreciate that they remembered to program it accordingly. Well,
Why dost thou return? Draw yon switch to open the skylight, that God's glorious sun may wash over me one final time, and cleanse me of all my Cainite sins. Make haste! The sun could set and rise and set again ere thou finished so simple a task.
okay. So he wants me to open
What?
like a sunroof or something. I don't think there's anything else to pick up here, so let's just go. Although that makes me wonder, how am I even up? Like, it's currently daylight, so by the logic of the lore of Vampire the Masquerade, he should be asleep, and so should I. We shouldn't be even able to be operating. Okay, that's not particularly great of a weapon. Oh, one more thing I remembered. This what's the word? Stained glass of supposedly Caine being cast away from the garden. I don't think this is biblically accurate, because obviously Cain and Abel, they were children of Adam and Eve, so they were born already outside the Garden of Eden, because Adam and Eve, the first humans, were banished for eating from the tree of knowledge, which God forbade them to do. And in fact, depicting Cain as being the one that was banished from the garden sort of destroys the whole theology, because it was specifically said that the pain of childbirth was a punishment for Eve, for defying God, for basically committing the original sin. So there were actually interesting. There were actually interesting musings of early Christian, well, not even early, I guess it was even all the way up to the Middle Ages, but there were interesting musings of Christian theologists about the logistics of sex in the Garden of Eden, because obviously, if we assumed that God had every that God intended for humanity to stay there and eventually to procreate, but also if we assume that sex and Christian theologians certainly did assume that sex in its current form as we know it is sinful, and birth the way we know of it is a direct consequence of the original sin, then it leads you with interesting sort of questions about how was that supposed to work. And in fact, I'm going to post relevant links in the description if I find them. But basically, what I think it was Thomas Aquinas that said that basically, from his sort of understanding, in the Garden of Eden, humans would procreate not through desire. For example, men wouldn't get an erection because of desire, because of sexual desire, but simply at will. They would control their own sexual urges and sexual organs specifically, as if they were, for example, another limb. So he has actually written about how he thought Adam would just command himself to get an erection and sort of do his business as if he was just moving his arm. There wouldn't be any actual lust in that, because obviously lust is a sin. You know, the whole idea of mating because of pleasure that it gives you is understood, or at least was understood, to be sinful. You're not supposed to do it because of that. You're supposed to do it to procreate, because that's the command that God had given to humanity. So I don't quite understand what's the reason behind this depiction, because I think it kind of destroys the chronology. But oh well. Wait, lever resets. What are you talking about? Ah, okay. So we have to flip it in short enough of a time.
Salvation at last.
Well, I guess I killed him. Can I close it now and like loot his remains or something? It would be kind of hilarious, but and also rather rude and you know, rather rude and callous, but. Okay, nothing remains of him but a pile of ash. So unfortunately it seems now I need to backtrack all the way, which is overall pretty annoying, I would say.
Thou hast serviced me well. I am in thy debt. Alas, I did not become the greatest merchant in Vienna by paying my debts. Such expenses unbalance my tidy ledger books. Besides, I should like to deliver the news of the Lasombra's death to the Duke myself. Take them away.
At least tell me if the Tremere have harmed Inesca.
That's thy only concern, as thou art being taken as a slave? The health of some other slave? Thou must develop thy self-interest if thou wish to survive the ordeal.
Tell me if Inesca has been harmed.
Oh, who can keep track of such things? When the silver poureth in like water, I have not the time to track every slave.
If Inesca has been harmed, I will destroy thee in the most painful manner possible, even if it takes 1,000 years.
Thou art impertinent for a slave. We shall see how a few weeks of starvation calms thy hot blood.
Thou hast heard my oath, thou depraved peddler of living flesh.
Well, I have spent too much time with thee.
I cannot shatter this cage!
Seems impenetrable.
No! I will not go back to a Tremere dungeon!
Then lend me a bit of thy blood. I have a plan, but need all my strength to make it happen.
Take all thou needs.
Okay, that's kind of cool actually. That's very cool, in fact.
Free! How sweet is freedom.
I have a score to settle with those Teutonic Knights. They reflect badly on my homeland, and I must smite them before the locals think we are all ignoble knaves.
Freedom is sweet, and their blood shall be the sweeter.
Okay. I think I will save for the final level in feeding. It is a pretty useful ability overall to have. For him... I guess I can... he has blood healing at the maximum. I guess I can upgrade potence as well. Okay, for you, I would like something that's, you know, offensive in nature. She doesn't have that much. Grants brief control. Okay, that's potentially quite useful, I guess, if I remember to use it. Oh, wait. If I spend a point in one of them, it... Ah, okay. So I can upgrade, I can learn how to cast a fireball. Okay, that's very cool. And potentially quite useful. And you can have feral claws. I guess more strength. Okay. Although what I don't quite understand is why we surrendered without a fight. When Count Orsi came to basically enslave us, why did we just surrender? It does not seem like a particularly wise thing to do.
The hunger rises within me. Death.
I can draw no precious blood.
Okay, I already kind of love that fireball. Like, I'm not sure how effective it really is, because obviously it's difficult to track its exact damage, but I definitely like the feel of it, at the very least. Okay, let's give some blood to her. Although, damn it, I should have invested in, what's his name, identifying, because she actually has a spell. Wait, can you really ghoul spiders? Okay, that's interesting. I guess you theoretically could. All that would require is to give them your blood, but I didn't think, you know, spiders...
Slaves are free! Capture them! Do not let them escape!
Why escape, when we can stay and feast on thy soft, warm blood?
Hold!
I didn't think spiders were sort of complex enough to even be bloodbound. Well, he killed her, so much for freaking so much for You know what? We're giving her blood. Not only did he drain all of it, he also killed her. But how luckily for her,
I stir from my slumbers.
I do have this.
The beast emerges from the darkest corners of my heart.
Okay. This is a torture chamber of sorts. Is it a magical axe? Not really, although... Oh, it's two-handed. Okay, so I'm not entirely interested. Although, 65, speed 71. How does it compare to this? 71. It might actually be a little bit better, because it's not that much slower and it has plus 10 damage. Let's give it a try. And let's also save before I die. So I am at level 4 currently, so I presume at the very bottom. And then to get back to the surface. Wait. Was he seriously running around without a head for like a solid 3 seconds? I wonder if that was a bug or if it was a clue that they are not human. Maybe they are not even knights, maybe they are like animated suits of armor. Although I guess that last thing must be wrong because I saw them bleeding. But still, it was pretty weird to see him running around without a head. Now, do I have any more Scrolls of Awakening? I do have one. Now, overall, I'm not doing particularly great, am I?
I am weak with lack of precious blood.
Okay, I really need to try to feed. Well, I guess that will kind of solve this dilemma, because if I am able to feed from them, then I guess that would assume...
draw no precious blood.
Okay, I can't. So that's interesting. I cannot...
I have no vitae to give thee.
I can draw no precious blood.
The beast emerges from the darkest corners of my heart.
He said I cannot draw any blood from here, so they do not have blood, seemingly. Interesting. Hey, look at this. He was running around without a head. He was clearly moving. It's not that he was dying already at that. Not that he was dying already at that point. He was clearly moving around, even though he had no head at this point. So that's definitely suspicious. Okay, I don't have 2 Scrolls of Awakening, so...
I am weak with lack of precious blood.
light helm, and a rat. Why can't he take that? I guess he was too far away. But wait, where are the rest of the knights? They were supposed to be here, right? And they still are. They just somehow didn't notice me at first.
Hold!
Okay, look at this. This is clearly bonkers. There is something wrong going on here. I don't quite yet know what, but clearly those are not regular knights.
Hold! Hold!
Okay, I would prefer if they did not chase them that far. Okay, I definitely appreciate that. I will drink one of them and give one to her. Oh, come on, you didn't need to cast a freaking fireball on a random rat. That seems like a bit of an overkill.
The abyss with thee.
Okay, let's continue and let's save as well.
Hold! Hold! To the abyss with thee. Over there. Hold. Fill it. To the abyss with me.
Okay.
Hold.
Okay, so on these only quote-unquote 3 levels to go.
Hold. Hold.
I can draw no precious blood here.
To the abyss with thee.
I can draw no precious blood here.
Oh, come on! A rat murdered me. It's a bit embarrassing.
Hold! Kill it! To the abyss with thee! To the abyss with thee! Over there!
Okay, nothing to loot in here.
To the abyss with thee!
The beast roars within me.
To the abyss with thee! To the abyss with thee! Villain! To the abyss with thee!
Okay, do I have a scroll of awakening? I do. So I can bring him back. Let's do that. Okay, let's also save.
The beast awakens.
What's up with Eric? He's not even.
Hold silent!
He's not even moving?
I can draw no precious blood here.
I'm not quite sure why is that. Okay, damn it. Christoph died in the meantime. But you know, having a -1 party member is a bit detrimental to my overall cause.
Villain!
Okay, this is great, however, the fact that Serena is dead is not particularly great. And I have to reload because I don't have any scrolls. Okay, hopefully he will not kill her. Okay, she is still alive. this is great. The blood pouch. Because it's basically like a 5-use bottle of Vitae. And it only takes 1 slot. Okay, let's save. So I did make some progress. Speed 71, damage 60. Let's compare it to this. Speed 71, damage 65. Okay, so this is better.
To the abyss with thee!
Okay, overall, the combat against the knights is weirdly relaxing compared to the fight against the Gemisi. I mean, not Gemisi, against the... I meant against the Tremere. Sure, I died a couple of times, but compared to what was before, it's almost a cakewalk. Wait, what did I say? Cakewalk? Is it even a thing? Like, what do you say in English when something's very easy? Can you say cakewalk? What does cake have to do with it? Like, I kind of said it, so I'm like... I'm like 47% sure that it must be a thing, as far as sayings go, because I said it so offhandedly that if it isn't a thing, I don't know why my mind was so confident about saying that. Obviously English is not my native language, so whatever I say in English, I presumably must have heard it or read it somewhere first to be even able to think of it. But cakewalk? I will have to actually look it up after I finish playing, because I'm like a little bit confused about what I myself said, which is actually an interesting mechanic, kind of. So, you think if I said it, I would know whether it's even a saying or not, but apparently not quite. Because I am a bit confused as to what role the cake serves in the saying. Like, why would you say something as a cakewalk? Like, what does it even mean? What does cake and walking have to do with each other? Like, in Polish, you could say, for example, if you wanted to say that something is very easy, you would say a bun with butter, bułka z masłem. So like literally a bun with butter, a buttered bun, because I presume in that case what you're saying is that a buttered piece of bread, in this case a bun, is a very simple, quote-unquote, dish, like a meal. You know, it's one of the simplest things you can do. Just take a bit of butter and smear it on a piece of a bun. So that's why a buttered bun is a saying that signifies that something is easy. But what would a cakewalk even be? Like, why would you walk for a cake or with a cake? I am kind of confused right now, and it's actually hilarious to me because, you know, I'm not that bad with English, really. In fact, I think I have a pretty good grasp of the English language, as you know, for a person who does not speak English as their first language. And in fact, I've done all of those Cambridge exams, you know, FCE, CAE, and last year CPE. So technically speaking, I am certified to know English at the C2 level, and you know, it's all legit. But from time to time, I have those weird moments in which I kind of realized I might actually be utterly stupid. Like, I might actually be an imbecile. And I guess this is one of those moments. But regardless, I think this episode has been long enough. So I am going to save here and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.